said she wanted to cook me dinner, but by the time she got home from the store, she didn't feel like it anymore. The story of my life. It's the thought that counts anyway. She said, let's play a game where you cook my dinner, but I don't tell you what it was. She even set a timer. This kind of feels like the equivalent of timing a child to do anything. Hilarious, she thinks that'll work on me. Spoiler alert, it did. I decided on a roasted corn pasta using the bacon and heavy cream. I'd like to believe she would put the watermelon and strawberry in here, but with her, you never know. Now by rendering down the bacon fat, we can use that to build the sauce. I thickened it with a little bit of flour. This might not be exactly what she had in mind, but I feel like I'm on the right track. I still had to figure out what to do with all that fruit. It's possible that she just wanted to eat it straight. I don't know her life, but I'm going with the summer salad. Is the cheese going to be weird? Let's find out. When I asked how I did, she said she had a confession to make. She didn't actually have a plan. She just bought stuff.
Hi everyone, we will be starting shortly.
My daughter asked if I wanted to make lunch for her class. Do I want to? Absolutely not. Will I? Yeah. Here's what I made. Not every day you get to make a meal for your kids that'll last forever. So I decided to be honorary lunch lady for the day. And knowing these kids probably just ran the mile and are about to drink a bunch of chocolate milk, I had to make them something good. So I went with cheeseburger sliders. Who would complain about that? Honestly, probably some of them. But since nobody writes Yelp reviews for lunch ladies, I think I'm in the clear. It seems that kids nowadays make statements with their outfits. But back in my day, it was all about what you had in that lunchbox. And if someone brought you fast food, oh man, you were at the top of the lunchroom hierarchy that day. Once I get these wrapped up, I'm gonna run up to the school and say what up to the PTA moms. They love this stuff. The bar to be a good dad is really low, and that works out great for me. Just got to the school, so I'm gonna run these inside. I'm not gonna bring my camera because, well, that's creepy. My daughter asked if I wanted to make lunch for her.
A very good evening, all of you. Welcome to this session of CV vetting and registration process. We will be starting now. Tanishka, you can start.
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone. So, yeah, we will be starting with everything. First of all, just to give a very brief about like PAC, like most of since we are in final year, we all know what PAC does, but I'll just briefly touch upon it. So, Placement Assistance Council, works throughout the year every day to ensure that CLC gets good internships, placements. Like, the students are very capable enough, and there should be enough opportunities for them to try out their caliber, right? So this is the main major work that we all know placement council does. And secondly, most that is one of the most important thing, that we also ensure that our students receive good mentorship as well as guidance, right? Because then only it will lead them to make good CVs, good work experiences. Then only they will be able to get into good firms and get good placements, right? So this is the major work of placement assistance council, that we have to ensure that we are sending credible profiles, authenticated profiles, right? To ensure that we are maintaining the bar of campus law center, right? To maintain the quality of the CVs that we are sending to the recruiters, so that they come back on rolling basis. So this is very briefly that I wanted to touch upon. If we can go to the next slide. Yeah, we are done with this. We can go to the next slide about the essential, yeah, purpose of CV vetting. Yeah. So as we know that the major agenda for today's session is CV vetting, right? So it is a major process which has a lot of essentiality, right? So in placement cell in final year, okay, this is specifically for final year. The reason is because it provides us authentication and verification of all the information that you'll be providing to us, right? So in final year, as you are all aware, that you will get a lot of opportunities, internship and recruitment opportunities, and you will be, sharing your relevant details with us, your grades, your marks, and everything, right? Everyone will be doing that. What we will be ensuring is that it has to be authenticated, it has to be credible, and it has to be correct, most importantly. So the major essential feature of CV vetting process is authentication and verification, okay, which is a major thing. First, because as you would have seen, like your marks, your percentage, your work experience. So PAC has this responsibility to ensure that the information provided is credible and verified. Secondly, as you would be aware that PAC provides you a standard CV format, right? And which, it has a lot of features because it is easier for the recruiter as well to navigate, and it looks professional as well. Just imagine, like, if there are 30 CVs, so you wouldn't want that, the first five are getting a good opportunity, the recruiter is going through them, but the remaining don't get enough, what would I say, like the chance to be get viewed very seriously. But when you have standard CV format, the recruiter knows what area he has to look upon in all the CVs. Secondly, it promotes integrity and a level playing field. I'll tell you how. So if there's a recruiter who wants to focus on, your aggregate percentage, so he knows where to look upon in all the CVs, right? If there's another recruiter who just wants to focus on your work experience or your position of responsibilities, there may be a research internship where the recruiter is mainly focusing on your publish, what all you published, right? So he knows. So that is the major function of a standardized CV format, which provides you a level playing field, so that there's no disparity, that someone is having a good format, someone is not up to the mark. So just to ensure that everyone is on a level playing field, we have this a function of providing you a standard CV format. Now I would request Miss Nana to tell you more about general rules and eligibility.
Everyone, my name is Nana. I'm an executive member here at PAC. I'm a second year at CLC. Apologies for not being able to turn on my camera. My network is a little bit flaky and I want to ensure that I'm audible. I will take you through the general rules and eligibility, all of which will be later elaborated upon in greater detail. So don't worry if you don't understand anything right now. So, first of all, the basic ground for eligibility is that you must be a final year student here at CLC, which I think most of you guys are because you are the ones sitting for placement. Then will come the registration process. We will circulate a Google form on all our handles, including the PAC WhatsApp channel. You have to submit a soft copy of your CV in your latest form. You have to submit all your mark sheets for the previous semesters so that we can verify your marks and check out any backlogs. And then you also have to submit an undertaking. The undertaking that we make you sign merely states that all the information that you have submitted, you know to be true, and you have to sign it. And once you submit, your registration is complete. Maybe move on to the next slide. Uh, so let's talk about provisional membership first before CV vetting. So upon successful submission of your form, you are granted provisional membership of the registration, right? You will be added to the PAC Google group where we will be sending out emails and forms for for any recruitment opportunities that we bring in for students. However, you will only be granted final membership after all your documents have been verified. And as for the CV vetting, the CV that you submit must be in the standard PAC format only, as Tanish rightly pointed out. This makes sure that all the CVs are at a level playing field, that all the CVs are in a format that is that the recruiter can understand, that they look for, that they need, and that they score well on the ATS program, which most recruiters now use. Maybe move on to the next slide. One more, an important point here is also cancellation, that any deviation from the prescribed format, which once again will be explained in detail right after this, or any false information regarding any publications, internships, etc., will lead to an immediate disqualification of the registration and a cancellation of the provisional membership, which means that you will lose out on the opportunities, on the recruitment opportunities that PAC will bring for your batch. So please make sure that all the information and the documents that you are submitting are true. Now I would like to pass on the presentation to our convener, Ms. Vanshika, for taking us through the PAC CV format.
Thank you, Nana. I think I'm audible properly. So, moving on, now we would be seeing the PAC CV format, and it becomes really, really important for you guys because this is not the format that you have been submitting to us for the past 2 years. We are changing the format for this session onwards, from this session onwards. So, I'm highlighting it again that this is a new format and you would be required to make your CVs in this format from now onwards. We will not be accepting any applications or CVs that are sent to us in the earlier format that was there or that was existing. Okay, so and as already pointed out by Tanishq, that we need a uniform CV to be given to our recruiters, and it is a strict non-negotiable. We cannot entertain your CVs if it's not in the format that is to be provided with you guys. So how will you get that format? That format would be attached to the Google form that we would be sharing. Okay, I will just highlight what all it entails, the format, so that it becomes easier for you to navigate. I will also highlight what all mistakes you should look out for, so that you don't have to do multiple revisions, and our team can also effectively approve your membership. Okay, so first of all, going by the font is Times New Roman, 12 for headings, 11 for content, and naming you should be familiar by now. You would have to name your first name space, second name, and underscore your batch, graduation batch, that is 2026. Now, since it's very basic, but still I'll say that do not send your CVs with naming format wherein the whole of your name is in capital letters or it's in small, because here we cannot send out in that format to the recruiter. It's we who have to edit your names then. So please, if it's Vanshika Agrawal, so V capital Vanshika space Agrawal E capital, then this underscore and 2026. I hope it's clear. And then the structure of the CV, the structure remains mostly the same. It's only the format that gets changed. Structure is the same: the education, work experience, internships, additional qualification that you might have. However, one thing that you should be very careful about is in the format of the CV, be it education, be it work experience, be it internship, you have to include it in the order of latest at the top and the oldest at the bottom. Don't put your 10th education at the top. No, we want LLB to be at the top and then, sorry, next slide, please. Okay, yeah. So we want LLB to be at the top, and then your graduation, then your 12th mark sheet, then 10th. Okay, and similarly with your internships, your September, August internships at the top, and then going backwards. Okay, and marks, regarding marks, also mark sheets that you have to you have to submit, and the marks that you are displaying in your CV should be accurate. You cannot misrepresent there. Also, the rounding off should be to 2 decimal points. Okay, and I think Natasha, please go back to the slide. Sorry. Yeah. So, and for now, work experience and achievement. So, internship or work experience, you have to mention it in the bullet points. Okay. There are no maximum number of bullet points that you can put, but ideally, you should put 4-5 bullet points where you should highlight your roles and responsibilities that you undertook during that work experience or internship. If it's for a longer duration, you can add a few more pointers, but do not make it very text heavy. Also, anything that you mentioned in your CV, be it mood competitions, publications, or any certifications, you have to have a document proof of all of that, which may be required later on. Also, just to give you an idea what all mistakes that you should not do, I'll ask Natasha, please, can you please share the Word file of the CV format that we will be sharing with you guys? So if you see the Word format, so if there is this name of the firm, advocate, judge, etc. So this is the syntax that we have given. Now you have to remove that thing and put the name of your firm, advocate. So this is very basic, but I'm telling because for the last 2 years we have been encountering CVs wherein people have, along with the syntax, included their name of the firm dash the name of the firm that they are working it. So that does not look very professional and good. So basically, you have to apply your mind and understand that what is the syntax given and wherein you have to remove that. For example, here duration is written and an exam bracket you have to write that duration. Now, this duration word should not be there. You can remove it, duration, and then you just put the time period for which you worked there. Now, if you scroll down, you can see that there are a lot of things like courses, programs, academic publications. Now, for example, you don't have any academic publications, so don't include that column in your CV that you sent us. We don't want empty columns just to comply with the format. It's just a format. You have to tailor it according to your qualifications. So for example, if you don't have any awards and achievements, if you don't have any POR, you don't need to add that column. If you add those columns only wherein you have something substantial to add. I think I'm clear. If you have any doubts regarding the format, we can take it at the end, or you can just leave it in the chat box. Okay. I think we can move on to the next slide, which is for document verification. I would like Pranav to take over. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So every claim that you've made in your CV must be substantiated with a documentary proof. When it comes to your educational qualification, you will be required to have your mark sheets, date of LLB, your undergrad, your 12th grade, or your 10th grade. If you've mentioned any internship in your CV, then you must have a completion certificate from the employer. If you've mentioned any academic publications in your CV, you would be required to verify that using a link to the journal or a soft copy of the publication. If you've mentioned any positions of responsibility, be it at Campus Law Center or your undergrad college, you would be required to have an authentic proof such as an official email, a notice, or a certificate from a teacher. The Placement Assistance Council has a right to call for any of these documents at any stage during the verification process. Additionally, all of you would be required to submit an undertaking. The undertaking affirms that all the information that you've mentioned in your CV is true and correct to the best of your knowledge. It also states that the students possess reliable documents for all claims that they have made in their CV and they will submit these documents when the Placement Assistance Council has asked for it. Additionally, it serves as an acknowledgement that if the student has provided any false information in their CV, it can lead to disqualification from all the benefits the Placement Assistance Council provides and can lead to potential blacklisting as well at the discretion of the teacher convener. Now we come to the registration process. So the registration process actually begins with the students filling out the Google form. The tentative date when the Google form will come out is tomorrow, that is 11th of September. In the Google form, you have to upload your CV and all the other supporting documents. Once you have submitted the Google form, the team at Placement Assistance Council will verify the achievements and the format of the CV. Once our team has verified your CV and all the supporting documents, then the students will be added to the official batch Google group. Furthermore, the students have the option of updating their CV at any point by emailing their CV at Careers with PAC along with a proof of what they wish to change. So let's say you wish to add an internship in your CV. You will be required to send to Careers with PAC your updated CV. Along with that, you will also have to send a certificate of completion from your recruiter. I now request Natasha to present the PAC manual.
Yeah, thanks, Pranav. I hope I'm audible. So I'll be talking about the PAC manual, PAC CV vetting manual for the academic year of 2025 to 26. So the PAC manual basically it outlines and consolidates all the rules and regulations, which is binding on all the people who have registered with PAC, and it is divided into 7 broad chapters. You can find the PAC CV vetting manual in the Google form that will be circulated tomorrow for the purpose of registration. So the very first chapter is the preliminary chapter. So here we basically outline the scope of application, the objectives, and the definitions, which we'll be using in the rest of the chapters in the manual. The second chapter talks about the application and selection. So once all the candidates have been registered successfully, you guys will receive the notifications in your mail, in the mail that you have given, and through then you can apply to any internship or recruitment opportunity that you prefer via the Google form, which will be circulated in that particular email. And then via the email, all the communication will take place. Now, there are some new things that we have introduced in this year's PAC manual. I'll be highlighting those specifically. So the very first thing is the cooling period. So let's say if a candidate has officially joined an internship on 1st of November, they won't be or they're barred from applying from any other internship opportunity until the 1st of December. So they have a cooling period of 1 month. Secondly, we have a tier 1 internship restriction as well. So if a person has been selected for a tier 1 internship, tier 1 has been defined in the definitions clause. So if a student has been selected for a tier 1 internship, they won't be able to apply for another tier 1 internship in that specific semester. Next, we also have duration-based restrictions, which basically means if someone is during their active tenure of a long-term or an assessment internship, won't be able to apply for other short-term internships while they are working their long-term internships. And there's also a monthly cap on application. So in a month, a candidate can only apply to 4 internships maximum via PAC. But we make an exception for tier 1 and tier 2 internships. And moreover, this cap does not exist for recruitment process until a candidate has been selected for a recruitment opportunity. And the exception can only be made for tier 1, tier 2 opportunities, or the CTC is 1.5x. Next is this is also a new feature, assessment internship and feedback. So here in assessment internships, the candidates are not, again, we are reiterating the same rule. The candidates are not allowed to apply for any other internships while they're undergoing their assessment internships. Moreover, once a candidate has completely finished their internship, they are supposed to give back a structured feedback, and we'll be circulating a Google form for the same. Next is conduct and communication. The main point of this chapter is to highlight the fact that all communication with the recruiters will take place through PAC. And if you want to get into direct contact with the recruiters, you can only do via with a written approval from the PAC faculty convener. And moreover, the candidate must complete the entire engagement. Second, the next chapter is discipline and misconduct. So we have introduced different tiers of blacklisting. So first we have 1 year blacklisting. So blacklisting essentially means that you won't be receiving any opportunities or any mails for any recruitment or placement opportunities. So these are the 4 conditions in which you can get blacklisted for 1 year. So very first one is abandoning an internship without obtaining any formal approval from PAC. Next is accumulating 3 or more violations of PAC rules. Next is engaging in unauthorized communication with the recruiters. And if you have accumulated 5 or more warnings against any PAC violation. Hel- Yeah, sorry. Next is 3 month blacklisting. So a candidate can get blacklisted for 3 months if there's any falsification or inflation of marks or misrepresentation of information or any failure to respond for a show cause notice or accumulating at least 3 warnings issued by PAC or refusal to accept the offer after final selection has been done or withdrawal from any internship or recruitment process after being shortlisted without a proper reason or withdrawal from any internship or recruitment process after selection for the interview round or any other violation that may deem fit and arise in due course of time. And a student may be issued a warning when a student has violated any of the PAC rules. The second last chapter is enforcement and exceptions. So PAC has the final say on all rules and any dispute will be resolved by them. And let's say if a candidate is PAC listed, they can appeal the decision to the faculty convener, but their decision will be binding. And the last chapter is miscellaneous, which basically talks about that this particular CV vetting manual for the academic year of 2025 to 26 will be final and binding, and it will prevail over any other previous CV vetting manuals, and it can be amended after review by all the stakeholders in PAC. So to conclude, so after once you have complied with all the guidelines, you have filled the Google forms and you have verified all your documents and with your CV, you will be successfully registered to PAC. And after that, you'll be able to get any internship or placement opportunity your way. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. In case any of the participants have any questions, they can either unmute themselves or put them in the chat box.
Guys, if you have any question, you can ask us right away. We are here to solve every single doubt that you must be having because there are a few rules that are changed. First, highlighting it that one student can only apply for 4 internship in 1 month through PAC. However, this restriction uh, is only limited to those internships which are not tier 1, tier 2 internship. If any opportunity is a tier 1 internship or a tier 2 internship, or we categorize it that this internship is open for everyone, then everyone can apply on that. Otherwise, there is a bar. Another is that there is a cooling period. If you are selected on 1st November, then you cannot join an internship on 1st December from PAC because of that cooling period. Beyond that, if you have any doubt, you can ask us.
I think there are no doubts. You all
we can leave. Thank you.